Welcome back. We are on episode 98. I'm so close to 100. I'm almost tempted to be like, should I just record another 2 just to get to the 100 as soon as? And then I could be like, wow, I did 100. Yeah, it's weird how we get around numbers. It's like with the scales, like when you see a certain number, and even though no one will really care and it doesn't even actually matter, you just want to hit a certain number. Anyways, that's not what I'm talking about today. We're not even a minute in and we're already digressing. So let's get to the point. I have a bit of a story to share today. And the way that I am going to start this story is £100 says this will wake you up faster than coffee. I did come up with that title myself. And I'm going to share something that happened to me a couple of days ago. And this is like, if you're able to apply what I'm going to talk about today, not only is it going to make your life easier, it's just going to mean that you're more likely to hit your goals. Like, there is no other way of putting it. And this is really something that anyone that I've ever interacted with, like in the sense of I'm helping them with coaching or I'm trying to help them get a certain result, I wish I could just go, understand this. Or I wish I could wrap this up and gift it to them in a little gift box present, because it would just take away so many worries. It would get you closer to what you want and all of the good stuff. So £100 says this will wake you up faster than coffee. Imagine this. My storytelling skills are going to shine through here. It's cold and you're on autopilot. It's early morning. You're just awake enough to go through your usual routine, but not fully present yet. You open the door, you walk outside, your body's already a little bit tense because it's cold in the morning. And as you take a step outside the door, you notice like a tingling feeling across your cheek. And it's as if a ghost was drawing a line over your skin. And then it hits you. You frantically brush your face. You can feel what it was. You know already what it was. And suddenly you think, there's something crawling down my shoulder too. Is it on me? What was that down my back? You just walked through a cobweb. Goodbye, slow wake up, and hello, fight or flight. I'm alert, I'm very aware, I feel itchy, get me out of here now. Even though it was only a second, that feeling doesn't go away. You feel like you need to readjust your clothes. You're like, this is like your whole energy and vibe and feeling and alertness has changed. So you went from it's cold, I'm half asleep, to now you feel like you need to take an antihistamine to calm yourself down. That line in particular, so if you haven't already noticed, I am reading one of my emails. I will put the link in the description to sign up to them because I actually think they're really funny. But this is an email that I wrote the other day from a video that I recorded. I got the idea as I was recording the video. I don't know how this came to me, but the sentence, I feel like I need to take an antihistamine to calm myself down because I walked through a cobweb, it made me laugh. Like, it really made my day that my brain came up with that sentence, because it's genuinely how I felt. I was super awake. I was ready for the day. And the whole point of why I'm saying this and why I wrote an email about it is your environment has the potential to completely change your energy, completely change how you feel. And it's things right in front of us that are free, that are staring at us in the face. And I continue to sort of write something along the lines of, our surroundings constantly push and pull at our mood without us even noticing. And and this is genuinely true, I forget how much of a useful tool this can be. The cobweb woke me up instantly and changed how I felt. So how could you influence your surroundings to do the same? Is it something that could shift your mood? And it's not even something you need to pay for. It's not something that would take that extra time, that much more extra time. Couple of the examples that I've written down is, it could even be like a route, like a route you go on your way home. Maybe you get off the tube a couple of stops earlier. Maybe you walk through a park, or you just take the road that it's a little bit nicer and you listen to a certain music or a podcast. And actually that's your kind of decompressed time, getting away and like compartmentalizing your work stuff, going back at home and seeing your family so you show up in a good mood for them. It can even be something as simple as leaving your gym clothes out and telling a friend that you're going, because then you've got, right, I'm making, the barrier to entry quite low because my clothes are literally by my bed. And I'm also telling a friend, so I've got that public accountability of I probably actually need to do this because I know they're going to ask me if I've done it. All these things are examples of you shaping your environment because of how it makes you feel. We want to create a space where it's harder to not do the goal aligned thing. If you nail that, you are so much more likely to get what you want. And I guess in a way, there are levels to this. Like, we can go very basic, free, leaving your clothes out, messaging a friend, and then you could go, right, I'm going to pay a coach, I'm going to get a certain gym membership, I'm going to pay for this thing. So it's a big spectrum. There's no right or wrong, but there for sure are things you can do right now within your capability, within your proximity, that you have access to make your life easier. I was just checking if I've missed any important parts out of the email. I'm quite surprised, like as a side tangent, the emails I've been writing, so I've committed to writing an email every day. I can't remember when I started this, but it was maybe a month ago. I'm shocked at how much I actually enjoy writing. And I'm not, obviously, you know, you get free help here, and you can go to my Instagram, SallyCoaching_. I think that's my name. That's quite bad if it's not. Where you can get free help. But with my emails, they are just really, you are stepping into a part of my brain that I wouldn't really just share with anyone. Like, some of the stuff I write, I'm a little bit like, oh, probably shouldn't write this. I don't know if this is very, like, you know, when something's weird but it's acceptable and it's like, haha, that's funny. It's like a nice quirk you have. And then there's, this is strange and only a select few people will get it. That's where the realm is of the email. So I would actually say you're missing out if you haven't joined my mailing list. Back to the actual point. So what we're getting to is that we're trying to prime ourselves ahead of the day, make it more likely that we actually follow through on the things that we said we were going to do. It's an underrated tool. And I'd almost forgotten how powerful it was until I walked through that cobweb this morning. My first thought was, not even coffee could wake me up this fast. And it's true, like what, a couple of seconds and suddenly I felt completely different. The only thing that changed was my environment. So we want to look at things that are staring right in front of you, things that you could change very, very instantly, things that wouldn't take too much effort for you. And one of the first things, and now I'm going to give you some actual action points. This is a great idea. You can listen to this right now and go, yeah, this is great. I agree with that. This is so true. If you do nothing with it, what was the point? Like, other than maybe getting a bit of instant gratification for feeling like you're listening to a podcast that's useful and you're like, oh, look at me, I'm doing something productive, which is, I feel like that sounds like I'm saying, I'm probably deterring you or telling you not to listen to this podcast, which I probably shouldn't be doing. But the reason why I'm saying that is because I myself have been in the situation where I'm consuming stuff, I'm listening to things, and it feels good. I feel like, oh, look at me, I'm being productive, I'm learning, my free time, I'm investing time. But you need to actually take action on that and on these ideas for you to get a return, because if not, they just stay that ideas. So action number 1, we're going to get clear on what you don't want to do. This might sound strange. When we think about a goal, whether it is fat loss or building muscle, everyone just instantly goes to, look at this long list of things I need to do. I'm going to have this big plan, this long checklist. Wow, probably overwhelming. You're probably looking at it already feeling a bit like, am I actually going to be able to do that? I don't know. Great. We do need some direction. We need some action points for sure. Something that's underrated is people making a list of things they don't want to do. They are not willing to compromise on. Why is this so important? Half of the time, people cannot stick to things that they set themselves. Or maybe they do it for like a month, 2 months, and then what happens? They yo-yo back and forth, they put the weight back on, they stop going to the gym, they fall back into their old habits. I would argue, was that a good plan? If you're going back and you're regressing and you're just going back and forth between a bit of progress, a bit of regression, something's not working there. Like, by definition, you have not reached your goal. You've maybe done it with a set of circumstances that clearly do not work for your life, which is why I think this is so underrated. Getting clear or having a little list of, do you know what, it's great that these are my action points, but here are the things that I am not willing to compromise on. And maybe they're things that make you feel the least restrictive, which, by the way, a gold mine. If you know the things that make you feel the least restricted, you are sitting on a gold mine for consistency. And I'm talking about things like, I really want to keep in some wine on a Friday night with my partner because we just love that time together and we have a nice meal. I'm talking maybe it could be a certain food. It could be that, do you know what, I really hate this type of cardio, or I really don't like training in a certain way. Now, not to be confused with, I just don't like putting in effort. Like, yes, there'll be things that we'll need to do that are difficult, that require some effort, that, like right now, I'm not going to lie, I didn't want to record this podcast. I'll be honest with you, it's a Sunday, I didn't want to be here. I just didn't want to do it. But there are things and there are times where we need to just kind of go, okay, for me to get an end outcome of something, I'll need to do things I don't always want to do. But there's a difference between that and just purposely giving yourself a long list of like grueling, miserable, horrible, over restrictive things that do not align with anything else important to you, because that's the recipe for falling off track. What is the next one? I actually did miss out on here, and I do really like this. Indulgences that you do want to keep in. So that's almost a way to summarize that. Have a list of indulgences you do want to keep in, the things that are your hell yes. And I know I've spoken about that a lot on this podcast. A hell yes, this concept being, if it's not a hell yes, then it's a no. For example, my hell yes, peanut butter. Give me a carrot and peanut butter. That's a hell yes meal for me. Like there is no other, it's a yes. And do you know what? Sometimes maybe my hell yes might be a pizza. It might be whatever it is. But if it's something that's not a hell yes, where it's like, it's kind of just like autopilot, or maybe you're just saying yes because someone else is also doing it, that's a sign that you're not going to feel that restricted by doing it. You're not that bothered by it. Moving on. Environment/house tweaks. And I've put a couple of separate things here. Number one being circuit breakers. So this is, again, more of an environment tweak. And what do I mean by a circuit breaker? It's a physical thing in your environment that can interrupt an autopilot habit that we have. And it's almost like it interrupts a certain pattern of action, and it reminds you of something else, and it helps you to take a different kind of action. So for example, it could be that let's pretend that this mic was Post-it notes and it had a note on there with like a reminder or a question. I could put this on my bedside table first thing that I see in the morning to remind me to write down my priority for the day, something that I'm grateful for. Maybe that's going to help me to manage my emotions, manage how clear I am in my brain, and help me have a better mood, which will then have an impact on the kind of food choices and the kind of actions I take in the gym. Example of a circuit breaker. It was free, didn't really cost me much time at all, but it's triggered me to take a different kind of action that's in line with my goals. Some things that my clients use that work really well are reminders or pictures on their phone. So like a home screen picture of a certain reminder or a note, an actual physical reminder or timer that goes off on their phone. It could even be, and this is getting a little bit more like creative, it depends on what you're trying to circuit break. Is that even the correct way of saying that? The kind of pattern that you're trying to interrupt, it kind of depends on what it is. So for example, it could even be where you place an object in your office or in your room or in your house. It could even be, and this is sort of getting a little bit onto the next point, where you place food. If you know that you're going to be tired on a Friday night, and you know you've got a long day, and you know that right now maybe you're trying to lose a bit of body fat and you're trying to eat high volume foods, please tell me why you would leave out a bunch of snacks. That's the first thing you see when you walk in your kitchen. Why would you do that to yourself? Like, do you enjoy this kind of torture to your own self? Like, it blows my mind, because I've sometimes done this in the past where I thought, look, right now, me and you, we're talking. Let's say you're in a great state of mind. You can be very logical right now. You could probably make great decisions. You've got great judgment. Maybe it's early in the morning. You don't have any decision fatigue. Let me ask you this. Friday night, you've had a long day at work. Your boss has really annoyed you. You had to stay late. You missed your train. There were delays on the train. It's raining. Tell me now that when you get home into the kitchen, are you going to be in such a good headspace to still make those kind of decisions that you can make right now? You might want to make that gamble. You might want to go, do you know what? I actually bet on myself in that situation when my emotions are high and my tiredness level is high. I bet on me to still make the right decision. And you might do. And do you know what? Congratulations. I applaud you. We're here for that as well. But if you know yourself and you know that that's not likely to be true, like if you know there's a time where it's like, this is my danger time. This is when I know I'm probably not going to make the best decisions. Don't leave food out everywhere. Why are you making life harder for yourself? And a part of me does have a little bit of like a devil's advocate, the other side of the argument of, if you cannot control if you have to have all these conditions of where it's like, nope, I need to have no food in sight, no none of this, no nothing, because if I do have it in sight, then I'm just going to overeat everything. Then maybe you're also entering territory of like, well, is that then ruling your life and controlling your emotions? Because maybe there's some work there that needs to be done, and maybe that can potentially be in more of like unhelpful or unhealthy territory. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about simply being smart around where you know you are not going to make the best of the most intelligent decisions, or maybe you're going to be like emotions a little bit higher, a bit more emotional. Can we make life easier for yourself then? And that also does include clothes bag. So what I mean by that is, can you prep your clothes, your bag? Like, how can we make tomorrow morning you getting to the gym as easy as possible? Next one, we've got external public accountability. So this is similar to what I mentioned in the email. So very simple. We make commitments to other people. We involve other people in our goal. We don't want to let them down. We don't want to be publicly shamed. It's embarrassing. Someone else is involved. They're counting on you. Me as your coach, like if you're watching this and you work with me, I'm counting on you and you're counting on me, and we are in this together. We don't want to let each other down. That's a powerful tool. It's very much like how at the moment I was just running a group coaching challenge. People said on the group chat that they wouldn't have done those actions if it wasn't for the challenge, because they don't want to be the person who doesn't send the picture. They don't want to be the person who's like, oh, everyone else is doing the thing, but I didn't do it, and they will know about it. Like, let's use that to our advantage. It's there, like, we are social beings. So if we can connect with other people and help each other to achieve certain things, why would we not take advantage of that? Then we've got content. This is actually the last one. Content you're consuming. I didn't include this in the email, and I thought about it this morning, but I don't even know why I didn't include it. Do you know what I find wild? Is that if you suddenly started to eat McDonald's every day and having like 3 bottles of wine every day, and let's say you started to notice you weren't feeling too great from that. Maybe after day 3 or even day 1, you thought, I'm not enjoying this at all. You would change that. You would then go, okay, maybe I won't have 3 bottles of wine. Maybe I won't have McDonald's for every single meal. But you would change something about that. We pay money for gym memberships, coaches, certain foods, supplements, to look after what we put into our bodies. We are so conscious of this. We'll spend so much like treatments, all this kind of stuff, medical bills, yet we won't pay attention to the content and information we're consuming and putting into our brains. Your social media, the news you listen to, what you're reading. If your feed makes you feel awful after scrolling and you do nothing about it, it's like you're inviting bad, negative emotions or spirals every day. Remember, the device is designed for you to keep going on your phone. You are now 24/7, have something that's basically going, hey, come over here and look at this and consume this content, that then leads you to not feeling good, and you're just not doing anything about it. So this is what I mean by how can we create our environment so that it makes us more likely to make goal-aligned choices, but this is a step further that just makes us not feel in a bad mood all the time. We will spend all this money on, like I said, coaches, supplements, medical stuff, all these things, but then we won't do the free stuff of, could I just curate my feed? Is it curate, or is that the right word? Could I just make my feed full of things that actually make me feel good? Do I need to mute some people, unfollow some accounts? Do I really have to be watching such polarizing stuff all the time? You can change these things and you can have an influence on that. And if we just go, oh yeah, I'm not going to pay any attention to it, how do we expect ourselves to feel good in a day when that has the potential to push and pull our emotions? It doesn't make sense logically. And the reason why I gave that example of the McDonald's and the wine is because anyone looking at that situation would go, just stop having some of the wine and some of the McDonald's. Like, at least you would change something about that. But then something as free as, how could I change my algorithm and what I'm viewing on my phone? We don't pay any attention to that. So just some food for thought there. I am going to end it here. If you enjoyed that, amazing. Please let me know if you have any questions or topics. Remember, you can find me on Instagram, Selly Coaching. Is it underscore? Why do I suddenly feel like there's an underscore in my name? No, I don't think there is. This is really weird. I feel like my brain's just had like a freeze and I'm like, where has this underscore come from? Selly Coaching on Instagram. I will put the link to sign up to my email list in the bio to this, because if you want some weird, just fun and just what is going on here stories, embarrassing stuff that I reveal on a weekly basis, then sign up to that too.